How are we looking now, folks? Is that better? Boom. Apologies. Not too sure why, and then, oh my God, that happened. But we're sorted, I think. Yeah. Happy days. Who's out in the audience? Let's give shout outs to everybody out there, and we'll fill you in on what I was saying there a couple of seconds ago before the audio issue. It's like fucking it's something that's haunting me all the time in this, like, isn't it? One way or another we get caught without audio on air. Serenimal is out there. What's happening? Barry Fields, Mr. Bobby O'Brien, what's happening, my pal Bobby? Yeah, Bobby says, what's up, all my lovely Irish peeps? Miss Your Fudge, what's happening? He says, hey, beautiful people, early finish. I get a live listen. Hope everybody's doing well and happy out. Nice. Just said I'd grab my bowl, empty my bowl, get one packed up and ready to go here. Everybody else out there enjoying their 420? Ooh. Who else have we got out there? Scatnist, what's happening, Mr. Scatnist? Oh, yes. Look at this stuff. This is absolutely amazing. Got some really nice hash here. Sent in from a listener of the show outside. It's got a little bit of cannabis on it, but it's all good. It's going to be smoked with a little bit of cannabis in a few minutes. So yes, we got some of that lovely hash, and we actually have a little bit of OG Kush from another listener out there. The same listener actually who owes the hash. And it's got some keef from a different listener. Had some lovely company there over the weekend. Got to hang out with Cannaman and Hunter. And Cannaman brought down some OG Kush that he'd gotten from Daily Talker. And then Cannaman had coated it in a load of keef. So, a nice one, guys. Might as well spread a little bit of hash into that, sure, why not? Do hit some the bong shortly. See Serenable getting the song started out there. Hits from the bong. They can hit from the bong. What else we got? Hazmat, what's happening, Hazmat? Yes, guys, nice one for the no sound there. That's sure stoners. Sorry for leaving the side down. Stephen Cav, what's happening? What else we got? Am I missing anybody? I think that's everybody. Boom, there we go. Yeah, everybody's just saying hello to everybody now. Boom, there we go. Oh, yes. So as I was saying before the audio was fixed, apologies for last week, guys. I was on the missing list. I was not well at all. I was very under the weather there last week. To be very honest, I was thinking that I wasn't even going to make it to this week. Last Monday morning, this day last week, I'd gotten up, everything was cool, had my coffee and stuff, went down to give somebody a hand there. I was cleaning a car and just felt my energy just go, and I wasn't feeling well, so I had to sit down for a second, and then before I knew it, I was almost passed out but profusely sweating, and I didn't recover then until like almost Friday, but it turned out it was an ear infection, but the infection had caused me some serious issues, which was most likely to do with the epilepsy that I have, but boy, was I scared. The sensations, the kind of the symptoms of the viral infection, they manifested in the most strangest of ways, and yeah, the week I went through there while suffering with that, like wondering, was this it? Was I gonna, was it all building up? Because that's what I thought was happening. I was building up to a big ass seizure, and it was just going to take me right out. Thankfully, touch wood, thank God that didn't happen, and I'm here to tell the tale. But it was a nasty experience that I went through, and it was made all the more nastier, I suppose, because of the prohibition of cannabis. That the prohibition of cannabis has me in a situation where, as a patient suffering with epilepsy, I've not been able to get access to cannabis through my health professional, through my consultant or my GP. So that leaves me in a situation where I'm illegally sourcing my cannabis and illegally medicating myself. And that left me with a lot of anxiety and worry during the week when I was kind of suffering with this infection, which I didn't know at the time it was an infection. I really just thought it was my epilepsy about to kick off again. I only kind of found out once I started getting better that, yeah, it was an ear infection. But I was just second guessing myself, like, Martin, you dumbass, why didn't you just listen to the doctor? Why were you so adamant in getting access to cannabis? Maybe the doctor was right and you should listen to him, and now you're going to die and it's all your own fault. It's, geez, the anxiety that caused me there during the week, and all because of the prohibition. The prohibition is what makes that situation exist. The prohibition didn't exist, and we would know a lot more about cannabis as a medicine, and you would most likely be able to approach your doctor, have a conversation about it, and get access to it if you need it. And they wouldn't be interjecting their own personal bias. Like, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, the situation that patients are put in today because of the prohibition of cannabis. But look, we're better. We're much, much better today, thank goodness. Had a hell of a weekend then as well. As I said, got better Friday. I was feeling a good bit better Friday, and then Saturday came around. It was Elijah's christening. So thank God I was feeling much, much better than waking up Saturday morning, and really enjoyed our day out Saturday for Elijah's christening. Got together with all the family. As you know, my sister's back in town from Australia with all her kids as well. So yeah, we had an absolutely amazing weekend, and we're still on the up and up, feeling great here today. I went out for a run and all earlier today. My first run actually since messing up my heel that time in the cell down in Dungarvan. Messed up my leg in that holding cell that time, and I wasn't after being out running or doing any exercise really in the last month and a bit, which just adds to the stress and to the anxiety the body has to go through. Nasty stuff, all right. But anyway, guys, let's blaze one up as we're going past the 4:20, and we'll get stuck on into one or two headlines then, Witchy. Make sure I have my lighter. Whoop, whoop. Hey, GT, what's happening, ZN, Wooly, guys? Epic, nice to see you there. Thought you all might be still recovering after your excellent weekend there at Product Earth. not jealous at all. Like after seeing some of the videos and the content that was coming out there from the Cannabis Activist Alliance page, but it looks like you all had an absolute blast, and you got absolutely blasted too. So GT, what's happening, Green Tea? So sorry you've been ill. Ear infections are no joke. Yeah, it wouldn't have been so bad if I'd actually known it was an ear infection. It was just genuinely was terrified because I thought it was my epilepsy. Went to see the doctor on Thursday because they were busy, couldn't get an appointment, need to fucking satisfy all that COVID crap as well. And she was like, yeah, your ears are inflamed. So at least I think that's why it helped me get a bit better by Friday, because I went home and I was able to rest a bit easier, and I wasn't as anxious about, am I going to die tonight? At least when the doctor said to me, yeah, your ears are inflamed and your throat's a bit red, could be an old viral infection there. Take a handy. Like the next day I was much better. What else is out there? Zian says, totally blasted. Much cannabis was consumed and the company was awesome. I'd imagine the company was absolutely mighty. You had yourself, Green Tea, Mr. Wes, I believe Wooly, Greenbeard. Who was Wooly there? Or was I mixing it up with Chilbert? There was so many of you there. Yeah, lucky feckers. Let's blast one up here, because this is as close as I'm going to get the smoking on up with you, the product art in the middle of a conversation about it a day after. Or is it only today you're all heading home? Is it today? I think it is. It only ending? Anyway, I hope you all had a great one. Let's blaze one together. Pip Jam, what's happening? He says, awesome weekend. Cheers, you guys. Not jealous at all. So to the people who were at Product Art there in the hot box, what was the highlight of your weekend? Was it the company? Was it the consumption that was going on there? The herbs, the edibles, or was there maybe a vendor there of some sort? I seen Green Tea was quite happy to have gotten to meet the guys at fucking Advanced Nutrients. I certainly had a few people that I would have absolutely loved to have gotten to meet up there, but it would have been the community more than the industry. But still, excellent stuff. Look forward to seeing what you have to say there in the hot box. Wooly straight in there. It was the company. Oh, was it 4 days of camping? Thursday until Sunday, Monday? Like some people, I think, camped out there Sunday night and then left on Monday morning. Early this morning, I think, was that at the crack. Bernard, splendid. What's happening, Bernard? Says happy Monday, happy Monday, folks. Zien here saying that for me it was the company. Not a great commercialism person, so stayed away from the show mostly. Nice, happy days. Great to hear everybody's enjoying the company. Zien, I would kind of be a little bit like that myself as well. I'd be much more for the company, and I think like some of the commercialism around this it's a bit cringy when there's still people fucking locked up in jail and facing court and patients suffering without access, and next you got all these guys, acting like everything's decent. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you got raw merchandise. Forget about the prisoners. It's not your problem. Sorry, a bit of impromptu singing, but you know what I mean. Like I just think there's a bit of burying your head in the sand when it comes to the suffering that goes on out there around the industry, while other people, fucking making $1 million every couple of months or whatever the case may be. I don't know. It's the whole prohibition of cannabis. It just tends to make you fucking very bitter at times, doesn't it? It's kind of hard to enjoy things. I was listening, the guys there were on with Joe Rogan from the Innocence Project recently, man, Josh Dubin, and he had on a guy who was like fucking locked up for murders that he didn't commit. But throughout the podcast, they were just talking on and off about people locked up for cannabis and different cases, cannabis charges, people locked up for life. 30 years plus for a couple of ounces, you know, a couple of kilos, whatever the case may be. It's just, it breaks my heart to think about it, you know. And then you got advanced nutrients, you know, just jetting fucking thousands of dollars of products around the world, and people just locked up over the same plant. I don't know, man. I just can't understand it. I suppose that's the thing. You just try not to make sense of it, because it doesn't make sense, does it? What y'all saying? Green Tea says, got a couple of swag bags off Advanced Nutrients and Playground and a whole load of other things, but the company was the best. Had a lovely chill with Zien and Wooly Saturday evening. Nice, guys. Very nice. Green Tea says, if you're a grower, it's worth the price of the ticket just for the free stuff you get. I won't be buying any nutrients wise for the next 12 months. Well, that is a good thing about like some of these events. If you are a grower and you're going there to meet the companies that you're buying your stuff from, yeah, excellent, happy days. You know, I suppose I kind of always have my activist hat on, so it's kind of hard to take that off. It's almost super glued to my head. But it's great to be able to kind of to wear the old the grower's badge and to go in there and enjoy that world. And try to leave the whole the pain, suffering, and all the activism outside of it for a little bit. Get all your swag bags, all the free merch. Zien says, so much merch is on its way back to Ireland. Amy's car is at 45-degree angles to the road. Packed to the rafters, and like Amy's car is not a big car by any means. Mark McDonald says, the prohibition of hemp and cannabis. Well, there is only a prohibition of cannabis, and hemp is like, it's kind of like saying, you know, prohibition of dogs and chihuahuas. You know, it's like if there's a prohibition of dogs, it includes chihuahuas as well. So if you're prohibition of cannabis, that includes hemp, unfortunately, because it's just, cannabis is the scientific name. But you know what the crack is, Mark. Anyway, how you doing anyway, Mark? Mark McDonald. Hope all is well out there, pal. We'll be up in Dublin actually tomorrow, Mark. So we'll try to get an opportunity to swing on by the Hemp Museum. We'll bring on the camera and stuff like that as well. We'll see if we can jump on and do a little bit of live. I think you might have been saying that there's now an ambassador spot opening up or something. We'll have Martin O'Brien in town as well, so we'll get him to call on by as well with me. And we'll get to that there in a second as to why we'll be up in Dublin. Surrendable says, check my comments up along, Martin. Surrendable, can you look up my comments, Martin? Sorry, Surrendable. I'm just looking for your comment there now. Give me 1 second. No sound, boop. I'm fined €300 and community service. How long are you overdue on the fine, Martin? I'm overdue on the fine since September of last year, I believe. If memory serves correct. I could be incorrect on that. It could be maybe a bit less. But I do think it was like September or October of last year. I think it was a €400 fine as well for the like €10 worth of cannabis or something. So yeah, that's overdue since September of last year. I haven't heard a peep from that. You know, I'm touch wood. I fucking don't want it either, to be honest, but I'll take it when it comes. But yeah, I haven't heard anything. Community service is what you got. That sucks. I've never gotten community service. Again, touch wood. Don't want it. If I got it, I wouldn't be doing it. Not if I got it for cannabis, that is. Is that the comment you were looking at? I wanted me to look at, Surrendable. If it is, hopefully that answers your question. So tomorrow, guys, patience for safe access. We are rocking it on up to Dublin. We got a national day of action happening tomorrow in Ireland. We're going to be bringing together everybody who supports the widening of access to cannabis in Ireland for the patients who need it. That includes patients suffering with conditions such as chronic pain, which fits the bill there for Alicia Maher, here pictured in this photo. She's a law student from the University of Limerick, forced have to pack her bags and leave the lovely green island of Ireland for the sunny shores of Spain. Over in Spain, Alicia is allowed access to cannabis as her right as a citizen of Spain in some sort, I suppose, as a European citizen, I suppose, in Spain. Because that's kind of what happens in Spain. The Spanish government have allowed this grey area to exist to respect the privacy of the citizens. That the prohibition of cannabis isn't enough really to violate that privacy, and off the back of that then they got these kind of clubs, collectives, and through these clubs and collectives patients like Alicia are able to access high quality cannabis which alleviates the symptoms of their chronic pain. So myself, Alicia, Kenny Tynan, Martin O'Brien, and all of the other supporters of the Patients for Safe Access are invited along up to the health department in Dublin city centre tomorrow at 2 p.m. And it's going to be a national day of action. We're going to be gathering up there at 2 o'clock. We're going to have speakers outside of the health department. And I believe there's going to be another follow-up protest announced there as well on the day. But we'll be there for a bit anyway on the day, so if you got an opportunity at all across the day, get on down there, show your support. Get over onto the social medias as well, guys, over on the likes of Instagram. I'm just going to pop it up on screen there now for you. Oops. Boom, there we go. So over on Instagram, you'll be able to see some of the content that's up there. Many posters up there advertising the day of action. So we have I Am a Baker, Not a Stoner, featuring our lovely Laurie from the vegan cafe or vegan bakery above in Dublin. Laurie actually was only nominated in a competition the other day. She told me the name of her company, but it's fucking completely eluding me there now. And it's worth a mention because, you know, her cakes were so good, and they're vegan cakes that you wouldn't even know that they were vegan. I'm going to pop it up there now on screen, Laurie. So apologies there now for leaving this up there. Boom, there it goes. It's Buttercream Dream. So guys, if you got an opportunity, get over to Dublin Live. So there's like a nominate your favorite bakery. If you click into this, go through here. All you have to do is just enter the name Buttercream Dream. So Buttercream Dream. And give Laurie a nomination because she definitely deserves one. So there we go, martinsworldpodcast@gmail.com. Accept and hit this I am not a robot. Just in case. Imagine if I was a robot. I could be yet. And there you go, Buttercream Dream. Absolutely amazing bakery above there in Dublin, and it's vegan. All vegan stuff, guys. So if that's something important to you, give it a go. If it's not, and you just like baked goods, guys, these are incredible. You wouldn't even know that they're vegan. They're that good. So there you go. I'm a baker, not a stoner. Laurie. We just go down again. Who else we got here? We got Pamela Barnes, who you might have seen on the thumbnail there from earlier. I'm a working mother, not a stoner. And again, come to our National Day of Action at the Health Department in Dublin, August 23rd, 2 p.m. That's tomorrow, guys. Make sure you got that in your diary if you're all free around Dublin. Get on up there, show your support. Who else we got out there? Oh, it was just 3 of those made, actually. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and they had these up around the place then as well in Dublin, Cork, Galway, and Waterford. So there was a van going around the place, Digivan or something like that, and had these advertisements up on the side of it as well. So these banners, I'm not a stoner, I'm a whatever, I'm a baker, I'm a law student, I'm a working mother. Patients for Safe Access over on their Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. They were inviting other people as well to share their own, fill in the blank. I'm not a stoner. I'm a, fill in the blank. What do you feel? I kind of said it to him when we were discussing this at the Patients for Safe Access meeting. I was just kind of like, lads, I'd fill it in a bit different. And he's just kind of like, I am a stoner, but I'm also all these other things too. I'm a herbal scientist. I'm a dad. I'm a martial arts instructor. I'm a self-defense instructor. I'm a windscreen fitter. I'm a glazier. Do you know what I mean? I have many titles I could apply for myself. Just the fact that I'm a stoner, I shouldn't have my life defined by that. What is it? Like, I like Cheech and Chong. It's like, what even is a stoner? I'm a stoner and proud is kind of what I say. Like, but for me, a stoner is somebody who enjoys the kind of the cannabis culture. The Cheech and Chong, the half baked. That kind of stuff. Reggae music. Whatever it is. That's kind of these stigmatically applied, I suppose. That how you hear somebody listening to reggae, so you think that you obviously like weed, yeah. um, you know. But anyway. Pip Jam says, I'll bring the fire pit next year, Jamie. I actually only just putting the fire pit together up my back garden there for some melted marshmallows this evening. We even got a little s'more kit. Should be great fun. Woolly here says, I don't know, content L joining in. Sorry, we're just getting caught up in some of the conversations happening there in the hot box. Oh, Scatness there says, my fuck, anyone interested in trading some but heavy indica that he has for something more mellow that he wants. So anybody out there with a hookup for Scatness interested in trading something more that they have, looking to trade for something more sativa for something indica. I think I'm aware of the strain that's going on offer here, the indica one. It's an indica cross that has like about 75% indica, 25% sativa, an AK-47 crossed with Black Domina, crossed with Mizar. So Black Domina Mizar, they're from Sensei Seeds, I believe. And the AK-47 as well, if that memory is correct. Good strain, heavy hitter for sure. So anybody out there? Scantness is looking for a swap. Again, there's probably somebody out there like, yes, I have a sativa and I'd love an indica right now. I'd love to be melted into my couch for the night. Siobhan, what's happening? Siobhan McCabe joining the hot box says vegan and infused is best. Yeah, you see, I'm not going to argue with you there at all. I tried some of Laurie's baked goods and they were incredible. They were incredible, and I felt fair good after them too. I've had some edibles in the past there, and you can feel quite mucky alright afterwards because they're just packed full of all sorts of nasty ingredients. But I'm sure Laurie's ingredients were incredibly wholesome. Siobhan says legalization of cannabis. Yes, love it. B Mooney says, to be fair, this shit's clean and leaving oil rings on Jay's though much better than the last batch. And oh, nice. A few more weeks to go till I chop some of Bubba's wrecked hole. Yes. Nice. I have a tiny little Bubba's wrecked hole actually that's coming along. It's got a little flower bud and all on it, like. Might get like about maybe 3 grams off the entire plant. Scantness, World of Seeds. It was World of Seeds there, and it's a strain called Space. Yeah. Black Domino I remember from Sensei Seeds originally. Mazar I remember from Dutch Passion. AK-47. She's just an old horror. An old horror of a strain. Every seed bank said to go of her. Scatna says, I actually got melted into the couch earlier with a teeny nug of it. Nice. I got some Jack Herrera down here. We'll have to sort out a swap. I think Jack Herrera is about like a 50-50. Oh, but yeah, we're just talking on the OG Kush here now for a change today. I'll be up there above in Dublin myself anyway tomorrow, guys. I look forward to seeing anybody else who's going to be able to make an appearance down there, show their support. The media have been confirmed to be in attendance as well on the day tomorrow. So we have journalists from, I believe, the Irish Examiner going to be in attendance, which is going to be excellent. It's good to see more coverage there. So again, the more people we have down there tomorrow showing support, the better. Boom. Sorry, just looking at the hot box there again for a second, getting distracted. So let's go to the Patients for Safe Access for a second, I suppose, and I'm going to give a quick shout out to their YouTube page. If you don't already know the Patients for Safe Access, they've got a YouTube page. So if you've got a YouTube account, get on over there, give them an old subscription. They're going to be releasing more snippets of the conference and other newsworthy pieces as well that come out over time. Again, on the run up to this National Day of Action, there's going to be a lot of media coverage. That there's been some already today, and again tomorrow. So all of that should be uploaded here as well to the YouTube account. They've got 35 subscribers at the moment, guys. So I know a lot of you out there have got YouTube accounts. Where are we at now? Am I on? I don't even know how many subscribers I have. 1,500 or something. 2,000, 2.7. Yeah. So go on, guys, get over there, show them some love, and check out their videos, as we're going to go through one or two of them there in a little bit. Oh, look, they got one of me down here too. Sorry, while I blaze this one up, let's open up with the first one with Amy Brown from the Patients for Safe Access.
I tried every pill, patch, injection, 4 marina coils, every possible hormonal treatment on the market. I tried, and nothing ever worked, and I was in pain all the time. And I didn't hear the word endometriosis until I was 21. I realised it was the most aggressive, benign disease there is. The surgery for endometriosis is often more complicated than cancer. It grows everywhere. It's not just on the womb. It's not just reproductive organs. It grows everywhere in the body. And there's 200 million patients worldwide and only 200 specialists. So what hope have we got, like? There was a woman a few months ago who overdosed and she was labelled an addict. She was undiagnosed with endometriosis, trying to manage this aggressive, debilitating pain all by herself. And the outrage in the doll was over the over-the-counter medication. Not at the fact that this woman was suffering desperately on her own for years with no help or support. Now, I'm not dissing anybody that takes medications, because I do believe there is a place for pharmaceuticals, but there's also a place for cannabis. And if we're talking about patient-led care, I'm not having any say in my care. I'm not having any input in what I want to be taken, because they won't listen to me. How is that patient-centred care? Like I keep saying, if I was to overdose tomorrow, there'd be outpours for me to rest in peace. But where the fuck is the outcry for me to live in peace while I'm here?
Amy brings up a brilliant point there that she talks about, that the fact that she's not like anti-pharmaceuticals, that these things can coexist together, that there's a place for pharmaceuticals for people who need them. But for her, it's cannabis, and cannabis is what's worked for her and it's what's worked best for her. And why is she not being listened to as a patient? Again, I hear you. I mean, I feel like I couldn't begin to imagine what the pain you're going through is like. But I feel your pain as a patient, and like what it's like banging your head off a wall, I suppose, when you're trying to talk to the health professionals out there, as to how cannabis is benefiting you and how much more it would benefit you if you were able to legally access it, and not be forced to be like a criminal and not go out there and have to be ducking and diving and hiding all what you're doing, and paying over the top for what quite often or not can be low quality bloody cannabis. It's ridiculous. The patients are forced to go through crap like that. But yeah, Amy Brown there, endometriosis sufferer, Endo with Amy over on Instagram. So if you want to get over there and give her a follow, Endo with Amy, Endo with Amy blog actually. And then we got Dr. Garrett McGovern there, speaking on it as well. But before we go to Dr. Garrett McGovern, we're actually going to go to Stephen Garland. Stephen Garland also suffers with chronic pain, but he suffers with multiple sclerosis and chronic pain. So his multiple sclerosis is actually included on the Medicinal Cannabis Access Program in one form, but it's not the form that Stephen has. Stephen has what's known as PPMS, primary progressive multiple sclerosis, and the condition he suffers with is not spasticity related, which is what's included under the Medicinal Cannabis Access Program. His is just chronic pain related, not spasticity. So therefore he's excluded. So Stephen here again talking at the Patients Safe Access conference in the Sugar Rooms in Dublin this summer, just gone.
You have an advanced level of MS, right? And you went to Russia. Can you tell us about that? And because you should technically be in a wheelchair at this stage, from what they said, right?
They told me that I was 6 months away from a wheelchair. I had one stick at the time. I was heading for 2 sticks. You only go one way with primary progressive. You're going for your inner things, your bladder, and all that thing starts to malfunction, and it's a pretty nasty end for anybody. But the thing was, and that's my message, was you take control of your own health. So I'm also here for, I have MS, but I don't have spasticity. And so the only thing that fits on this MCAP program for MS, while it's one of the 3 conditions, it's right up there in the front actually, that's one of the top conditions, it's only for spasticity. So you have to go through this rigmarole of, you're lying, I want cannabis, but I don't have spasticity, so you want me to do these bullshit pharmacological drugs for my spasticity to maybe get on a program. So luckily enough, I live in Barcelona, and I've always lived there, and I've been there for the beginning of the entire history of the cannabis club scene in Spain. We're allowed to grow 4 plants, and the right to grow is a very simple solution to a lot of this, and we need the right to grow. Simple as that. So you have the right to grow. In Spain, just like and Ireland has the culture of cooperatives, in the credit union is a cooperative. And cooperatives, farming cooperatives and all these things have a history in Ireland. And so you put the 2 together, right to grow and right to kind of get together and educate each other and create our strains and educate ourselves about what we can do. To have the right to grow, I can grow my 4 plants and everybody around me can grow them if they want to. And I'd like to go to a club and buy what the fuck I want. And so I've been able to do that, put it in a vape, and I've solved my chronic pain issues. That doesn't get anything under my MCAP program. So we're falling through the crack. It's a neurological disease, we've got nerve pain, man, that we can fix with cannabis. End of story.
Sorry about that. I just realised that the sound does have an echo because the original fucking sound input has just started working for some reason.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Sorry, Joe. Joe Rogan making a random appearance on Martin's World. Who would have thunk it? But Stephen Garland there again, hitting the nail on the head. So having just the right to be able to grow your own cannabis would solve a lot of this for a lot of people out there because, again, people like myself, I'm well able to be able to grow high quality cannabis. I've done the courses that I've needed to be able to even set up a high quality grow facility. I've got all of the GMP qualifications. I've got my herbal science degree. So I'm pretty much ready to go. I just need to be able for it to be legal, I suppose, to do it, or just not be illegal to do it. Because then I'll be able to grow enough cannabis to be able to process it and have on hand, to anybody who needs it. You can do it. Again, it's quite low cost too, even to set up some of these high quality facilities and stuff like that. It's not really very costly. All right, did the initial input, the land and the building and stuff like that, whatever. But again, it's not even that costly. If you're able to use the sunlight and not have to supplement the light and all that, keep the costs incredibly down. Get some really good cannabis too. But again, if people just had the right to be able to grow their own cannabis, then it'll keep the price down too. It'll keep the people selling it honest, because right now, they're not being very honest. You go out there and you buy a bottle of CBD oil, okay? I was seeing an interesting conversation happening in the 24/7 Hotbox. Link in the description to join it if you want. But the guys were talking about like wholesale prices or bulk prices of isolates, CBD isolates, for example. And a CBD isolate on its own, 1,000 milligrams, 1,000 grams a kilo of the stuff. It was like, what were they saying? a couple of €100. But meanwhile, you know, you get a bottle of that same that same isolate from the likes of, say, Holland and Barrett, because they're most likely to stock isolates, and they'll charge you like €50-60 for the stuff, and for about a gram of it. So they're able to buy 1,000 grams of it for a couple of like €300, and then they'll sell a gram of that onto you for €50 in a bottle of hemp seed oil. Hemp seed oil, like, so they'll sell you 15 mils of hemp seed oil, a gram of CBD isolate. They'll call it high strength. It's got 1,000 milligrams in there, you know, or 2.5. They'll give you 2.5 grams for €90. Crazy shit, like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, like. It's not honest at all. Like, there's an incredible markup there on these products, and that markup only exists because of the prohibition of cannabis. If cannabis wasn't prohibited, this stuff, it'd be cheap as, you know, all of the other essential oils out there. Essential oils aren't cheap in their own right, but like a bottle, 25 milliliter bottle there, a small little bottle of essential oils, like what, €10-12 there of a good one, maybe sometimes €25 of a really high end one or something. I think, like, again, that's like a cannabis oil. It's an essential oil. It's a concentrate from a plant. They had to concentrate that oil into the essential oil from a plant material. That's exactly what cannabis oil is. Meanwhile, a 25 milliliter bottle of cannabis oil is, you're talking a couple of €1,000. Nah. Or artificially inflated prices because of the prohibition of cannabis, and the price then has been passed on to consumers unknowingly. You're out there buying your CBD products and, you know, supporting the prohibition of cannabis, and another you're saying, yeah, it should be illegal. People shouldn't be getting stoned. And meanwhile, you're supporting a prohibition that's fucking putting the price of the product you're consuming up by about, what, maybe 10x? Sometimes maybe more. Amy Riley says, Martin, you should put these streams on Apple Podcasts. Found one episode there and think it would be handy to have more uploads there too. Yeah, nice one, Amy. I 100% agree with you. I really need to get back to doing interviews. I might set up a new channel just for the 420 News, but because the 420 News quite often or not includes some video, like I rely on the video a bit in the 420 News. I don't really release it on, say, the Apple Podcast because that's audio only. And I just feel it would do a disservice to people who might listen to it there and they might get pissed off at me or something. I don't know. But I do think that the 420 News tends to be quite visual at times, relying on like videos and stuff like that, for example. But yeah, sure, we'll see. We might release a couple of them, or we'll start doing clips or something. Been saying that now for forever and a day, haven't I? Then, guys, you know, the frustration that's out there for patients, and inability to speak to doctors, like, but even the doctors themselves are feeling the frustration. You know, I'm going to pop up here a doctor who's been a guest on this show in the past. That's Dr. Garrett McGovern, addiction specialist here in Ireland. But again, another man who feels like he's just banging his head off the wall when it comes to speaking to people, even with people within his own profession, you know, speaking to his own peers. I don't know what's going on with them, Martin. You know, they'll say it to me in the background, I agree with what you're saying and stuff, but none of them will just be willing to come forward and say it because the stigma, there's just too much pressure there for them. They don't want to be like Dr. Garrett McGovern, always getting called by the radio and ask questions and all of this. They prefer just to keep their opinions to themselves and just let people suffer, which is sad. But anyway, Dr. Garrett McGovern's going to speak here for 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
The only doctor in Ireland, Garrett. You're at the cold face as well of addiction, and what's happening with the?
Well, very little is happening, unfortunately. I think, I could echo everything that Gino says. There's two things just to say. I mean, consultant-led is just another barrier in the way of this. My own preference would be to have doctors not.
Well, on that's the point of the gathering tomorrow. Unfortunately, Dr. Garrett McGovern is going to be on holidays tomorrow, and I hope you're having a blast over there, Dr. Garrett McGovern, wherever it is that you're on holidays. But that is the reason why we're going to be gathering tomorrow. What Dr. Garrett McGovern just said there.
Not involved in it. When you get doctors involved in something like this, nothing happens. So I prefer it more. I know it's not perfect, the US model, but I prefer more of it to be that you are able to be able to access cannabis without actually having to put it on prescription. That's my own view. But if it is going to be done by doctors, I think it needs to be spread out towards GPs, and GPs are the most plentiful of the doctors. The real area, I think, where really this needs to go in terms of, I think it should be made available for any condition whatsoever. Whatever the condition is, make it available. But the real area is, and it's not even a condition, chronic pain is a symptom, it's not a condition. And it is so debilitating. And I mean, I've read statistics that there is possibly as many as 1 in 3 people in this country suffer with chronic pain issues. I mean, that's just unbelievable. And the vast majority of them, it's not managed very well. And in the ones that are on chronic pain medication, the chronic pain medication comes with side effects, horrible side effects. And I really just cannot understand how in the 21st century we let people be in chronic pain. I just struggle with that. My own profession, which is meant to be the caring profession, doesn't care. Because if they cared, we would make this available to people who have chronic pain. Why are we getting in the way of this? The other issue, really, and I've always maintained this about medical cannabis, and I know a lot of my own profession talk about the research, and they always talk about, the trials aren't there. We all know, everybody in this room knows why the research that they want isn't there, because they don't...
Because of cannabis prohibition.
Invest in that research. And plus, we've had to research an illegal drug. And if you know anything about kind of the illegal market versus the legal market, the best research in my area of addiction is in alcohol and tobacco. Why? Because it's legal. We know exactly what it is. It reduces the possibility of confounding or other reasons why a product is harmful, because you know what you're studying. A lot of the time, we don't. So a lot of it is inferential with cannabis, so the quality of the research is going to be probably less. It's improving. But one area, and the medical profession seem to keep away from this, is I've always maintained that the worst that can happen with medicinal cannabis is it doesn't work. That's really it. It just doesn't work. But it doesn't cause any harm. There is nowhere internationally where medical cannabis causes harm. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen one paper. In fact, I haven't seen one case. Never mind one paper. It does not cause any harm. So if it does not cause any harm, why are we getting in the way of it? Why not let people try it? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I think, what I'd just like to finish on this note, I think we are probably going to have to... I'm going to probably have to take responsibility for this. Is we are going to have to try and encourage more of the medical profession to come out in this. I mean, I was talking to Tom Curran, who's here today, about the assisted dying, which a lot of the kind of barriers that they're encountering there is very, very similar. And he was telling me that 20 doctors had got involved in that campaign, and that'll only improve. You made a very good point. I mean, you must be sick of seeing my ugly face. You must be, because we're just not seeing anybody else. Although you did tell me that there's somebody else in here today. There's another doctor, believe it or not, in the audience today. And I'm delighted to hear that, because it does feel lonely sometimes. Although I have to say, whenever I do radio stuff with other doctors, I won't mention any names, they do make it easy for me. I mean, they make it very easy for me. Without even opening my mouth, I kind of win. Don't have to say anything.
Garrett, we're lucky to have him, no? So,
of course, boy. Absolute hero of a man, and it was an absolute honour to be able to speak to him here on this podcast as well. So if you haven't seen that interview, guys, by all means, do go back and give it a listen, because it's well worth it. Right up there. It's definitely one of my more favourite interviews. Speaking with Garrett McGovern, I think anytime I ever get to sit down and have a chat with the man, the last day after they did the presentation at the Dial that we gave, got to sit down and have a pint with Garrett afterwards, and we had a great old conversation. But I always enjoy my conversations with Garrett, and if you haven't heard that one, go check it out and you'll enjoy it too. She wants us past the bong. What else is out there? Just reading through some of that there. Quadrex says, respect to that doctor, Mr. McGovern. Stephen Cav as well, for any ailment or none. Yep, exactly. Medical cannabis is cannabis, exactly. Couldn't agree more. TV with craft. What else is out there? compare that with the list. It's if it's side effects of opiates, benzos, etc. Great point. Well, to be very honest, I suppose with cannabis, like, and compare it with other drugs and stuff, like we would have a very long list of side effects of cannabis. But the thing is, like, none of them are really like negative as such. Like, you know, it's going to be like any other product out there. Like, as soon as you test it, it's going to be people experience like some side effects from it, like, and they will have to be listed. But again, that's everything kind of has side effects as such. But like giggles, laughter, sleepiness, you know, are they really that bad? The munchies. Compared to like, geez, I got some anti-epilepsy drugs there, and the side effects that they have listed there, it's crazy, you know, absolutely crazy. Mr. Toker, what is happening? Daily Toker says, I all hope you're all grand. I'm listening in while I work. Nice. Hopefully you had a nice day at work and wherever you're at. Nice and sunny here at the moment. Nice. So yeah, that was some of the videos there from the Patients for Safe Access conference. Again, as I said, get over there, give a subscribe to the Patients for Safe Access YouTube channel. I have one more video that I want to play for you. It's from Pamela Barnes, and Pamela Barnes is the mother of Ryan. Ryan has a sarcoma cancer, I believe, on his shoulder. I believe that was the one. Pamela's going to talk about it here anyway, but Pamela's been fighting for Ryan's access to cannabis for years. Ryan was unfairly targeted by the guards and everything as a teenager for his use of cannabis as a medicine, because, you know, he was able to kind of get it and it was helping with his pain, so the family kind of supported that then as well at the time. So yeah, I'm going to let Pamela talk about it here anyway. It's a bit of one of the longer clips.
This is Pam. Pam is a beautiful, powerful activist that stands up for her son. It's wonderful. Can you tell me about your story? Ryan has got cancer, right? And then you did get a license a few years ago, and from my understanding, you cannot get on the MCAP program.
Ryan has a license since 2019. He was diagnosed in 2015 with a very rare form of sarcoma. Unfortunately, it was undiagnosed for years since he was the age of 8, so his tumour's grown to a massive extent on his shoulder. To operate to remove it, you're taking away half his back. He's going to lose the use of his arm. He was on, they offered him chemo. We turned it down because it'll kill the receptors in his body. It'll kill everything before it'll kill the cancer. So he was on a concoction of drugs, Lyrica, Oxys, Versace patches, you name it. They gave him everything under the medical card. He hospitalised for up to a week at a time, non-stop, in and out of hospital.
Like they're serious medications.
We just had a breaking point. They gave him a prescription at an emergency appointment for 100 Lyrica. They sent him out the door at 18 years of age with 100 Lyrica. So he said, right, that's it, we're done. We're done with the health system. So we started getting in contact with people, and the cannabis community in Ireland have been amazing, absolutely amazing. The education, the support, everything. It's just, you know, why we can't have proper doctors, and I'm not dissing the people, you know, that I've met in the community, because they're amazing. They should have PhDs. They should be recognised for what they're doing. And it was through these people that we trialled, and through trial and error, we got Ryan to a level of the THC that he needed to be able to function, just to have a quality of life. So we done that, and we got him up to, he's on 22% THC. We fought for his licence. We got a ministerial licence. Under that licence, it cost me €1,080 a month, and I have to buy from the Transvaal pharmacy in Holland. Prior to COVID, I had to travel every 11 weeks, coming back with a suitcase through Dublin Airport with 15 ounces of bud. Never stopped. Nice. Never stopped once, waiting to be stopped because I had the papers, but they never stopped me once. So it was fine, so off I went. And then COVID hit, so I said, look, I can't leave. You know, you're putting me in a position. So the Department of Health went ahead with the DHL, and now they transport every month for us, but we still have to pay. They won't allow him onto the MCAP programme. It's a medical cannabis access programme. He has a ministerial licence for cannabis. The two should go hand in hand. They don't.
Why not? Why? Do you know why?
No, he doesn't fit one of the three conditions. If he takes chemo and is nauseous from the chemo, then they let him onto the programme. So he has to kill part of the goodness inside of him before they let him onto the programme. Whereas our oncologist said, whatever we're doing, keep doing it. Like Ryan hasn't been hospitalised since 2019. Not once. He hasn't spent one night in hospital since 2019.
I take it.
Like, as a mother, like, you do what you think is best for your child. And Pamela, and John, tip my hat to her, like, she's an incredible woman and powerful woman, and I believe she made the best choice for her child. And I agree with her, like, that quite often or not, the chemotherapy for some patients, it might save them, might be great and stuff like that. For other patients, you know, can do a lot more damage to the individual than the cancer itself could be doing. You know, quite often or not, people die from the chemo than they die from the cancer, because because of the cancer, they're already in a weakened state. Then you introduce this like chemotherapy, which is like an incredible concoction of chemicals into the body. They take their toll on everything, which she talks about there. You know, everything, not just the cancer, everything. And that's some people they just don't survive that barrage, that very like that full frontal assault. You know. It's crazy, and to think that they would prefer her to do that over cannabis as a choice, it's, man, like, what kind of a crazy world are we living in where that is a choice, you know, that okay, we're going to allow chemotherapy. This is like, it's quite often or not, you know, it's like flipping a coin. It's like, is it like 50-50? I don't know, like, what's the success rate? Don't even know if it's 50-50. I'd imagine it's maybe a bit lower, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't, but unfortunately it probably is a bit lower than 50-50. Or do you want to try cannabis, where at least, you know, that the pain and the suffering and end of it, you know, it's not going to be bad, and there's a potential there that it could help. And, you know, in this case, it's fucking been helping. Our son hadn't been in hospital for how many years there did Pamela say? Since 2019 now, she said. Mad. 3 years. Crazy. Think of the savings the state, like, it hate bringing it back to money on it, like, but some savings that the state is making here because of the financial burden this family are taking upon themselves, because they have to privately fund this every month, every 3 months, or whatever the case may be. I think it's every 3 months they have to privately fund this. And I know, speaking to Pamela, and she don't mind me saying this, and it's breaking them, you know, that they're having to the beg, steal and borrow, you know, as the saying goes. They've leaned on everybody that they can. Everybody's helping them out with the GoFundMes and all of this. It's crazy the pressure that this family and others have been put on because of the lack of access to cannabis in this country. But meanwhile, you know, 100 Lyrica, there you go, on out the door, covered on the medical card, not a bother. Cannabis, get out of town.
That's a rarity. He spent a lot of time in hospital before that.
He spent up to a week at a time. Myself and Mum used to do shifts. Who used to sit with him, you know, to make sure that he was being looked after. We used to have to bring in foods for him because the hospital food wasn't what Ryan needed. So now he's on a very strict diet. He must eat in a certain way to keep his body, to make sure that he's getting everything in. He vapes, he gets bud in now. There's members here today who have donated to us that have got us through the dark days. You know, if we're waiting on stuff, they'd help us out. They'd give us more than what we need, you know, more than what we can afford. And that is what it is. I'm bankrupt, like. I don't have any more money left. We're on our last licence, and I'm not applying for another licence. Our licence runs out next month. I'm not applying for another licence. I'm growing, and that's it. That's it. And it's going to be by people like Tom and other members that are here that are going to educate me on how to grow that medicine. But I'm growing my son's medicine. No, he's not a cash cow for anybody else. Nobody's wanted to trial, nobody's wanted to collect data from Ryan to see how well he's doing. Nobody cares how well he's doing because, like, nobody's making money off him anymore. You know, but we're broke. I'm bankrupt. You know, we've no more money. We're maxed out in every way we can. So we've done this since 2019 to now. You know what I mean? And that's 10 grand a year minimum that we're spending. We can't do that anymore. So I'm growing. And if they want to bring me to court for cultivation, fine. I have no problems. I'll go. No problem. I can't do it. And I think it's wrong that the abuse, the mental torture that the state have put not just Ryan but me and my mum through is shocking. It's absolutely shocking. If a parent was to do this to their child, what the state have done to me and Ryan, I would have my children removed. But the state do this to us constantly, and they're not being answered. And it's not just the state, it's not the Department of Health. And this is what people need to understand. It's not just our government, it is the HSE. The HSE are under a complete different law. The HSE cannot be governed by the Minister for Health. The Minister for Health, under the 2017 Governance Act, cannot instruct the HSE on any individual person's case. So even though I have good contact with the Minister for Health, he cannot tell the HSE to include Ryan under the MCAP programme. He is our minister. He's working for me. I pay taxes. He's the Minister for Health. He's communicating with us, but he cannot tell the HSE to include Ryan on that programme. So what's the point of him? Two separate entities. Do you know what I mean? That's wrong. Ryan should be part of the MCAP programme. He should be able to go into the chemist like anybody else, like myself, at an €80 cap and receive his medicine. The medicine that works for him. It's working for him. That's all anyone needs to know. If it's working for him, give it to him.
How does Ryan feel about cannabis?
Ryan, you know, I'd love him. And hopefully someday he will. You know, he's 22 today, and I'm so proud of him. So proud. But unfortunately, the stigma in Ireland stops Ryan from getting up on the stage and telling us and letting us see his face. You know, if you could see how healthy he looks today, and for me to show you a picture of what he was 5 years ago to today, you wouldn't think it was the same young man. And that is due to anti-medical cannabis, but it's the stigma around it, and it's his fear of being jumped. Because people would then know his face, and they know that he has good weed on him everywhere he goes. So he won't put his face anywhere because of the people that will jump him for his medicine. So he can't and he won't. And I understand that, and I respect that. And he keeps telling me, Mammy, get up there and fight, he said, for the simple fact, he said that a mother's love, there's no bounds to a mother's love, and any parent will tell you it will be the same. But there's so many mammies out there that, you know, are afraid of the police knocking on the door, are afraid of what, you know, the parents next door will say, or, you know, like we've younger kids as well, like, and for them to know that I'm giving my son medical cannabis, oh wow, like, you know, she's such a bad mother, she's giving him cannabis and all. I don't care what them people think. You fill your children with Calpol to knock them out at night, and you give them this, that and the other. You do what you want. I'll do what I want with mine. And if it's working for mine, I'll keep going, you know. But it's the stigma, and it's education and regulation is what we need in this country. Education and regulation.
Excellent.
Powerful stuff by Pamela Barnes there, and incredible stuff. That was at the Patient Safe Access Conference there this summer. What is that? But that was an incredible day, all right. And who was saying that there? Was it Mr. Finnegan? Yeah, some powerful speakers there. That day, it was an amazing day indeed. And that was just a small snippet of the clips there and of the speakers that spoke that day. I do believe there's going to be more clips to be released over the coming weeks. But again, tomorrow's going to be nonetheless the same. It's going to be some powerful speakers there tomorrow as well, including myself. Anyway, we have Martin O'Brien. I think Kenny Tynan is going to be above there. And not too sure if Pamela and a couple of others are going to be there as well. But fingers crossed we get a great old turnout. Are you going to be there? But yeah, Pamela done excellent there on that day. Yeah, I know I kind of blabbed like a baby on the stage that day myself when I was speaking. I'm not looking forward when that clip comes out, but fucking, yeah, sure, I've kind of blabbed on her a few times. Yeah, as you do. Barry Field says, RT edited Vera's speech at the Person of the Year Awards. Ming has the full version on his channel. That's good to know. I can remember that RT had edited, all right, the speech. But I didn't know that the full version was actually available on Ming's one. What you go out and have a look at that. Compare it to the edited version then as well. Quadrax says, my mother was misdiagnosed by the HSE and is no longer with us. Worst case in Irish history. We'll fight on for everyone's right to live, to life and quality of medical care. One love. Sorry to hear that, my man. This system in this country is just broken, and there's no need for it to. It's like we're more than well resourced to be able to have like a high functioning health system and education system, justice system, all of that stuff. It's just that unfortunately these things have been corrupted over time for I suppose the benefit and the power of the minority rather than the many. And we just need to change that. And I do believe that when I'm given an opportunity, hopefully in the next year or so, to run in the next election here in Ireland, I'll be able to kind of bring that to the forefront again, as to how we really need to get this country back on track. Because I think that the people who've been in there before have just been corrupt, I suppose, and the individuals, not in it for the community, being in it just for their community, which is their party, their sponsors, all of this kind of crap. No, somebody needs to get up there and change some things, and I hope some other people out there will start running as well. We just need some normal people to go run for these positions. But again, I'm a bit of a dreamer, I suppose. Nice one, Quadrex, man. Nice one. Yeah, nice one, guys. Just looking at some of the other comments coming in there as well. Ferg, nice to see you there, Ferg. Anyway, hopefully you're enjoying it down in Corkmac again there today. It's not a bad old day there. It's a bit windy outside, but it's nice up here in the city anyway. Hopefully it's nice down there in Corkmac if that's where you're at, buddy. But while we've got all this pain and suffering going on out there around cannabis, unfortunately, still nonetheless, during the prohibition of cannabis, it's not stopped access to cannabis. We've had the cops there in the not too distant future actually talk about it. Despite all of the massive raids and the seizures, like they've put no dent on the black market. They've put no stop to access. Like cannabis was drugs, I suppose, were accessible in every town, village, and every county across Ireland, according to the guards themselves. Every day last year, there was no droughts or any crap like that. But here, like we even have more headlines again. 6-figure sum of cannabis found at Dublin location for the second day in a row. So 6-figure sums, like so you're in the hundreds of thousands. It's like, why are we wasting all of this potential revenue? You slap a bit of tax on that. You allow people to be able to set up a legal industry, create jobs. Again, more tax there again on the income of these individuals. But you're what are you doing there in the process? You're eliminating a lot of work for the Gardaí. You're taking away a lot of work from the organised crime gangs, and you're making cannabis a lot safer and cleaner for the people who want to consume it. There's a clear demand out there for cannabis. It's in high demand. Quadrex, you're an absolute hero, man. Nice one for the support, man. One love, brother. But there's an incredibly high demand out there for cannabis. It's one of the most sought after drugs out there, and I think it would do an awful lot of good if we were just to end the prohibition around it once and for all. 2 days in a row now in Dublin, 6-figure sums of cannabis been seized. Again, 6-figure sums they say, but it's just a couple of kilos, 7 kilos of cannabis. Not a whole lot of cannabis, to be fair, but in terms of money, when it's prohibited like that, it is quite a lot of money. But if we were to make it legal, it's not only the money, it's the jobs, it's the safety, the security, all of that stuff that comes with it. That's the more important stuff. It's the people, a large proportion of people, community of people within our society no longer being seen, treated, or regarded as criminals for the use of like a simple herb and the byproducts of that herb too. There's a little bit of hash in there. That's what it means. That's what it's all about, isn't it? I don't know. But yeah, two 6-figure sums anyway above in Dublin. 7 kilos of cannabis seized there. The customs dogs getting involved, sniffing it out. This is the drug dog Waffle. Free Waffle. Waffle deserves to have a good life. He doesn't need to be out there smelling cannabis. Leave that to people like me. I'll smell cannabis for you guys, but just like I'm not going to be ratting on anybody and seizing it. I'll just do it as a connoisseur and just make sure it's high quality. Says there yes, the same amount of cannabis. Oh yeah, both were found in parcels that originated in Spain and were bound for an address in Dublin 1. So again here, like there could be a very high likelihood of a connection to the organised crime gangs, to the underworld of Ireland within this, you know, that they could be over there operating with kind of impunity, and you would say, in Spain, because of the grey area that exists there, and then they're exporting the product from there quite easily too. You know, look at these little vacuum packed bags. It's quite easy to vacuum pack them up, stick them into a box of Cocoa Pops, label it as cereal, and send it on over, and make an awful lot of money for yourself. Get a few young fellas, a couple of teenagers there, go around in their tracksuits, sell a couple of bags for you, give them a knife while they're at it as well, you know, because they need to be tough in an old stab vest and all. Do you know, but that is the reality that's going on out there in Ireland today, because of not because of cannabis, because of cannabis prohibition. So it says there, the total seized by revenue officers over the 2 days now equates to 14 kilos. So it's quite likely that this is actually on information. Maybe they're targeting people. This is kind of a regular occurrence. 7 kilos coming in consignments on a daily basis. Do you know, the seized 1 or 2, but you know, 3 get through. Happy fucking days for the person who got it through. It's a cost of doing business. Look at the profits there. There's such a high return once one package gets through and, you know, 3 or 4 get snapped. Oh well, cost of doing business. We're still in the profit. Says the drugs were discovered as a result of routine operations with the assistance of the detector dog Waffle, concealed in 7 parcels that originated in Spain and were destined for an address in Dublin 1 area. She added the investigations are ongoing. The seizure is part of Revenue's ongoing operations targeting the importation of illegal drugs. If businesses or members of the public have any information regarding smuggling, they can contact Revenue in confidence or on our confidential phone number. But like, why is there no fucking phone number or a line there for people who are just not happy about the fact that people have to smuggle this in, and the fact that people should have a right to be able to grow it? You know, where can people like Stephen Garland pick up the fucking phone and ring and say, come here, I'm really pissed off that I can't grow my own cannabis? There is none, is there? But if you want to be a rat and ruin someone's day, there you go, guys. There's the fucking rat hotline fee. Seriously, what a messed up situation. Like, cannabis prohibition ruins people's lives. It's ruined it didn't ruin my life, but I quite likely could have ruined my life on a number of occasions. Like, I was very close to the edge of my tether because of the prohibition of cannabis. Like, I can only imagine what your man Joshua Allen is going through above there in I think he's above in Cork prison. I'm not too sure what prison he's actually in, but geez, I can't imagine that what he's going through is easy. Oh, Content NL, you absolute hero. I see a big super chat after coming in there. Nice one, Content NL, you absolute hero. Really appreciate the support there, pal. That'll go a long way to help the show. And so help the fight for cannabis legalisation in Ireland. But yeah, Josh Allen is stuck above in Cork prison. He had his suspended sentence in relation to the a kilo of cannabis? I think it was a kilo of cannabis, €20,000 worth of cannabis he got caught with. Reactivated. So he's above there in Cork prison. Like, he could be at the end of his tether. Like, you know, is he going to be the next case of, you know, one day they're going to just check the cell in the morning, and unfortunately, you know, that was the night that he just couldn't handle it anymore. And I touch fucking wood that it doesn't come to that for that young fella, and for anyone else out there going through that shit either because of the drug prohibition. You know, be strong, guys. It's shit, you know, to be in prison and stuff like that, but be strong. But it does happen. It does happen. But Josh Allen is above there. If you know who Josh Allen is, he was the guy that the media were kind of following there on his amateur MMA career. He got a bit of stick down at the gym. We was training down at the gym together before he got locked up. And yeah, his mum is a celebrity cook, and his family kind of have this Ballymaloe relish gaff here in Cork. They're quite a famous family. And yeah, it's unfortunately that they targeted him then and made him kind of a bit of a thing in the media, and now he's locked up. It's a bit shit. But who's going to be the next one? Because there's a kind of new up-and-coming contender. A bit of a pun intended on that one, I think, when you see him. This guy, new up-and-coming contender there for Josh Allen's place. Josh Allen, again, as I said, he got targeted during his amateur career as in MMA. But this guy here, Gabriel Dawson, He's up on drug dealing charge, and it says here the Sunday World can reveal that the accomplished sportsman Gabriel Dawson, 22 years of age, was arrested in Galway City. And he was up in drug dealing charges at the Galway District Court. He was charged with the possession of drugs and possession of drugs for sale and supply. The case apparently has been put back until October 12th in Galway. And again, look, apologies for sticking your photo up here and your face up here, but look, I'm fighting your corner for you. Another pun intended. In doing so, and I hope I can find a line of contact here for Gabriel Dawson if anybody knows him out there, and I've got a couple of links there anyway in the MMA martial arts world who might be able to link out to him up there in Galway, but I'm hoping to be able to have a chat with him as to what this is doing to his life. Got caught with a bit of cannabis, enough to be charged for sale or supply potentially, and you know, this media attention now, what's that doing to his life, what's it doing to his family? Has it added to the pressure? You know, where's he at mentally? Hopefully he's well. Hopefully it's not interfered anyway at all negatively with his training. Because I know myself, cannabis for me anyway, as a martial artist, it definitely helped. There was nothing better than going down and doing an incredibly tough training session and coming back and relaxing with a bit of cannabis. There was nothing better than having a bit of cannabis even sometimes before you went down to do an incredibly tough bit of training, because it got you a little bit more relaxed, a bit more in the zone, a bit more present, especially on sparring night. But yeah, you know, to each their own. But Gabriel Dawson anyway, you know, it's no surprise to me as a competitor out there in a tough sport like boxing that there's going to be more and more people come out there using cannabis now, as more and more people become aware of the benefits of it, especially, you know, again, in intense sports like this. But it says here the Southpaw was representing his country for the first time as a senior at the major international tournament and was awarded a unanimous decision in the 75 kg final against England's Lewis Richardson. It says Dawson was given a hero's welcome back in Galway and was featured on an RTE News clip. And I have that clip actually up here. I'll play this there for you.
A world champion, a European champion, and a
big
multi-nations
turnaround.
champion.
Big difference.
The Olympic Boxing Club is punching above its weight in what has been an extraordinary success story. These elite boxers are nurtured and coached to gold by a powerhouse team of trainers, both at home and abroad.
It's a little bit surreal, but I'm not surprised.
Like, to think that they're willing to throw away all of the hard work, all of the incredible effort that was put in there by this young person because he got caught with a little bit of cannabis. They're willing to give him a criminal record. They're willing to put him out there in the media and the way in which they done, you know, painting him up here, you know, Irish gold medal boxer up in drug dealing charges. Like, it sounds so bad. He got caught with a bit of cannabis. Like, come on. In fairness, got caught with a bit of cannabis. Give the guy a bit of a break. Like, it's like, in fairness. But anyway.
You know, it's been phenomenal for to have in our gym. It's just been incredible.
Because I looked up to other boxers that was on the wall, and I always wanted to put myself up on the wall, and I just think it's just keep working really. We just came, well, look, this is my club here, 4 walls, everyone has really the same. Just think it can be done just once you put in a bit of hard work.
Like, you talk about like cannabis killing your motivation. Like, does that look like a person who was unmotivated? Like that guy was like oozing. The motivation was oozing off him. Get goosebumps there listening to the man. I want to get up there and go for a run now. Like, you know, you got to work at it. You got, you know, got to stay hard.
I'm very happy. I'm so excited.
Like, I wonder how she feels about the article now. Like, you know, to go from an RT News article, a hero's welcome, and then this is up on the 4th of June 2022. And then this is the contrast. You know, your son's up in drug dealing charges. Your son's a drug dealer. No more RT News things for you, unless you're getting locked up.
Not only for the family, for the whole Galway and Ireland and Connacht.
The boxers have inspired young boys and girls who are flocking to the club to take up the sport.
It's great to be able.
Like, what does it even do to the sport as well, I suppose, in the image of the sport? Like, when you're going to be painting people like that, you know, people are seen as like some young person's idol above there in Galway. You know, there's some young people looking up there now to Gabriel, thinking he's the bee's knees and stuff. Next, all of a sudden, that young fella's mum sees this headline, comes back and is like, is this the fella that you're down training with at the gym? You're staying away from him. You're not allowed down at that gym anymore now. You know, you have to go train at the other gym. You know, is that going to be happening above there in this? Like, you know, you see there's a couple of young people here in the gym, and like parents can be quite funny at times, you know, and again, you know, some people again can be quite old in their way of thinking, unfortunately. I would hope that doesn't happen and people see sense in that. They know Gabriel and know that he's Gabriel, and know that he's a really good young fella. I hope he is. I don't know a young fella. Maybe he could be a piece of shit, you know, but I'm just going by like some of the young boxers that I know that are incredibly motivated and hardworking, and like I know these people are kind-hearted and mean to do well and want to inspire people and, you know, do well for their community and bring the community up. You know, I think that there's a certain energy that comes with people like that. Anyway, that I'm thinking of people that I know of anyway, similar to him, and cannabis smokers too, actually, as well. You know. But anyway.
To inspire young athletes and just show them that no matter how young you are, that you're well able to achieve all your goals if you keep working hard.
I'm Dale Williams and I'm 6 and I love boxing and I want to be a world champion.
The reason I box is because I just want to be strong.
Probably my favourite boxer of all time is Muhammad Ali. I like his quote, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. It's definitely a great motto for me.
The boxers continue to train here at their local club, as well as at high performance units nationally and abroad. World Championships, European Games and the Paris Olympics are all within their sights.
Keep up the training this year and get as much experience that we can in the ring, and hopefully it'll all pay off next year. Teresa
Mannion, RTE News. Goal.
Like some big competitions listed out there as well coming up. I don't know if they come up or they come up. Like, so again, you know, to have these court cases ongoing in this young person's life, there's no need to it. Guy's 22, he got caught with a bit of cannabis. Give him a fucking break. There's medical therapeutic benefits for this, especially for boxers. You're taking some amount of shots to the head. By God, like the nootropic compounds that are inside in cannabis to help to alleviate and mitigate some of the harms, the harmful compounds that could that develop there within the brain after all of the damage, you know, the stress compounds that are there. There's a lot of benefit there to having, you know, some cannabinoids floating around there to mitigate that damage, and there's some evidence there to support that too. But before we go, just one little clip. There's Gabriel fighting away there, like. I mean, whoop. Yup, oh that boys. When was this from? This is from 2018, like, so this is an old one, like. I was kind of watching the first round of it there earlier on, and he's got some slick movement, in fairness, like, you know, he's tuning in, like, moving around. It's nice. I like it. But, you know, to think that all that could be taken away. You know, imagine if some absolute cunt of a judge, like the one that I met down in Dungarvan, just decides, you know, I'm going to lock this young fella up there for a couple of months, teach him a lesson, make an example of him. You know, teach any fucking potential boxers out there within the community, hey, you know, stay in line, we're not going to treat you well just because you have a golden medal. Like, it's no, like, strong. Like, there should be no law out there that has that gives the power to a judge to take that freedom away from a person over something so simple as the use, the possession, or even, you know, the selling of cannabis, like, you know, because people shouldn't be locked up for it, in fairness, like. But anyway, slick there, like, I like that there, like. See that there? You just go back one more. Watch out. Wow, nice body shot. Whoop, whoop. And now we slip off. He's in the corner here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Some nice slips. Whoop, whoop. Can't hit me. Great crack. If I can miss spin in the ring. Really miss spin in the ring. I don't know if I've ever shown you me in the ring. Was it Martin Condon versus what comes up when you put a Martin Condon versus yeah, there's a few of them there. Last this one that comes up here, that was one of the more latest ones 5 years ago. Jeez, so long ago. Yup. You missed, Martin. I love that Thai music when you're in the ring fighting. Like, there's nothing like it. Just creates some fucking atmosphere or something. This is at 70 kilos. I would normally fight at about 64, 65 kilos. I was quite like above my weight. But that just meant that there was no weight cutting before this. Like, so I was quite healthy inside there like that, you know. Which I was disappointed that I didn't kind of give it a bit more. But I was a bit cautious as well. Your man Decky, like he was a heavy hitter. And to be honest, like if I just felt if I wasn't as cautious as I was, and if I just didn't just take my time, I would have got sparked out in that fight, like, because he had the power to spark me out. Didn't hold back though, and I enjoyed it. It was a hell of an experience in there with him. And yeah, you take losses with the wins, because you know what I mean, if you learn from your losses and stuff like that, it's not really a loss, because it's an opportunity to learn and grow. Yes, happy days back in the ring. Yeah, the Hello Kitty shorts, you spotted them, Johnny. Myself and Kelsey, we used to have the same pair, so we used to be matching at training. Happy days. But yeah, where are we at now? Sorry guys, down memory lane there. Six figure sums. Oh yes, there was some breaking news here in Ireland, I suppose. Not really cannabis related, but drug policy related during the week. I was hoping to be able to get on there last week with you, but unfortunately I was not able to do that because I was unwell. But I'll do it now. It was over on Virgin Media is where I kind of came across this clip anyway, which mentions our boy Frankie. But it is the announcement on the introduction of drug testing to festivals in Ireland. Very welcome announcement here, so I think it's fucking about time. About fucking time. So myself and other volunteers are going to be above at Electric Picnic this year, and by Christ are we happy to see that there's going to be some on-site testing now. I think it's going to be back-of-house testing, so I don't know how quick the turnaround is going to be from the handover of the drug sample to be tested and to then receiving the result of that drug that was tested. I hope it's not too long anyway, in order to increase the effectiveness of the information in terms of mitigating harm. We're going to be above there providing drug welfare services throughout the entirety of the festival, so it's going to be 24-hour service for the 4 days of the festival. I think we have over 50 volunteers now, so thanks to everybody out there who has signed up. If you haven't signed up already, and you really, really want to, and you think you're going to be a tremendous asset to the team, keep in mind there's going to be, like, I think it's 3 8-hour shifts that we're requiring for volunteers in order to be able to sign up over the 4 days. So you do get an opportunity to get out there and enjoy the festival yourself, but make sure you stay well rested and don't end up in welfare as well. But if you really, really want to be a part of the team, we're not stuck with volunteers, but we do have room for a couple of more. Get in touch, let us know. Look forward to meeting those who have signed up and taken part in the training so far. Continent NL says, that's class, Martin. Would love to get into a bit of MMA. It's great crack. Jiu-jitsu is like my favorite. I haven't done jiu-jitsu now in a good while either, but I fucking love jiu-jitsu. It's like chess but with your body. Great crack. But yeah, let's get back over to what I was saying there a couple of seconds ago. The news, the headlines. Boom. So there we go. Let's play this one for you.
How's all of this going to work then?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Colette. This is a landmark drugs harm reduction policy launched for the first time by the HSE. Effectively, HSE scientists will be on site at Electric Picnic at Stradbally this September, and effectively they'll be using amnesty bins. These are drug bins which are allowing festival goers to drop off tablets or doses of drugs anonymously for them then to be tested for what's in them. Effectively, it'll allow scientists to identify any particularly potent substances or any bad batches, as they're known, which could be going around. Also allowing any festival goers who might have had a bad reaction to anonymously drop off any extra tablets they had into these bins for testing. Now, really the message from the HSE is that it is safer not to take drugs at music festivals, but there is an acceptance that this sort of thing is going to be happening anyway, and it's about reducing the potential harms of that. The HSE says when it has been used elsewhere, it has saved lives.
they got a tablet in which everybody thought was MDMA, but it turned out to be PMMA, which is a much more harmful substance. And in fact, we have seen deaths in Ireland associated with that drug. So by that analysis, we were able to get a message out to festival attendees saying, do not take this tablet. So they took a photograph, it was an orange tablet, got the message right out there, up on the screens beside the stages, and I think that intervention would have saved a significant health problem.
Don't save even more fucking regulation of these drugs, but anyway.
Yeah, Professor Keenan also highlighting what drugs he's particularly concerned about this summer, polydrugs, and as well as a rise in cocaine use and cocaine treatment by the HSE in recent months is something he's particularly concerned about. Now, we understand from security sources that Gardaí have been concerned about this pilot scheme because...
Of course they're concerned, because they're concerned that they're going to lose the power to stop and harass people as they go around and enjoy the festival in certain areas. Do you know that the Gardaí are now going to have to maybe allow an amnesty around these drug testing areas and not be pests and hang around undercover and try to stop and search people? Do you know they're going to be an area now where no guards, you can't be stopping and searching people here because we need people to use these services, and if they're there stopping and searching people outside of the service, people aren't going to trust us. So this is why the guards are concerned. This is why these discussions, this negotiation has been going on since like 2016. But meanwhile, over the last 6 years, while they were having these discussions, these negotiations, and while there was the concerns for our powers, how many people needlessly lost their lives at festivals where drug testing services like this could have potentially offered that lifeline and saved a life? Huh?
Because they don't want the message to go out there that possessing illegal drugs is now somehow legalised. So they have had concerns about this. Frank Feehan, the Minister for Drugs, was attending this launch as well. He says, and the HSE as well, echoing the view that they believe that this should be extended further into nightlife, ordinary nightlife across towns and cities across the country.
I was shocked when I heard that. Like, you know, in fairness, I think give credit where credit is due. I always say that. And like Frankie Feehan, man, if that's your view, and I think if you were to give more lip service, or to give more action and not just lip service to that, you know, if there was more action there from you as the drugs minister, the minister with responsibility for the national drugs fucking program, whatever it is that you got responsibility for around drugs, do more. Don't just talk about this. Don't just say that you support this and the introduction of it into the like just normal regular nightlife, and actually making put action on it and make it happen. It'd be great. It'd be great, and we'd learn an awful lot. There'd be a lot of data to be gathered there, a lot of the trends that would be seen, and a lot of more and more opportunities that regulation would offer would be seen then as well through that, because we would see, you know, all of the contaminated drug samples out there, maybe the very high strength stuff, the low strength stuff, the stuff that got stuff that's not even what it's supposed to be in there, you know, all of that stuff. And then we were just kind of saying, hey, look, if we regulate the drugs, just give people this, they're able to get the drugs anyway. And if we just give them clean, safe samples of these drugs that they're looking for, like when their MDMA is fucking not MDMA and it's PMMA, and you know, PMMA is incredibly toxic, a lot more toxic than MDMA, and it takes a lot longer to activate as well within the body, so you end up overdosing on it because you take 2 pills, it doesn't kick in after 40 minutes, so you take another 2, and next an hour and a half later you're overdosing, dead. Imagine regulation would end that, because if you could just walk into a shop and you're guaranteed you're getting MDMA, that eliminates that 100%. It absolutely guarantees that you are not going to fall victim to PMMA while enjoying your MDMA. But anyway,
after this summer is done, to try and reduce the potential harmful impacts of drug use.
Richard Chambers.
Yep, that's it. So again, Frank Feehan, yep. In time to come, hopefully, if you do more on this, I will give you an old chair from here, you know, the old audience chair. But not just yet. But you know, props to you if you really do support it. John Finnegan says, "Who wrote that one for Frank Feehan? I don't believe for 1 second they're his own words." Yeah, you know, it could quite well possibly be that Mr. Frank Feehan is being dragged kicking and screaming into this. But I'm always forever an optimist, and I do hope that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and someday in the not too distant future, there will be change, and we will bring an end to this freaking goddamn god ugly war on drugs, because it's brought nothing but pain, misery and suffering to our society since it was manifested in our society. And I think the sooner we can just eliminate it, the better, and the healing can begin. Like, you think of the service now, drug testing, basically going to be doing testing services to support the black market. It's going to be another cost in society because of the prohibition of drugs. Like, we wouldn't need this if there wasn't the prohibition of drugs, because, do you need to go get your alcohol tested when you buy it in the off license? No, because the producers of it are required to test it before they send it to the off license. Duh. Oh, it's a fucking no-brainer. Hey, Master Mackey's High and Homegrown is out there, says, yeah, they're the ones. I mean, was Martin's not latex too? Latex gloves, is it? Sorry, I'm scrolling way back into the hot box, so I'll leave that for a second. But yeah, drug testing coming to Ireland. We're going to be above there to witness it. And I will be live as well from Electric Picnic if we can get some coverage up there. I know the internet can be a bit fucking touch and go. But I will get a couple of live streams up there and show you what's going on at the welfare tent, show you what's going on at the drug checking tent, and get out there and interact a little bit with the Electric Picnic audience as well, and get a bit of feedback of people as to how the government are performing in terms of drugs policy in Ireland. Content analysis, defo it's only a matter of time. It is indeed, it's only a matter of time. John Finnegan says, Darren, I thought I was going to be the drug tester. Oh yes, we're going to blaze one up anyway, guys, and we'll start signing off there shortly. Start to bring to you. Oh yes, there was one piece there actually I should have just brought up during that whole piece there on drug testing. This was out in the Sunday World, so to anybody out there who's into their crystals, and I don't mean healing crystals, if you're feeling, at all, crystally. I'm talking about people who are into their designer drug type crystals, 2CB and all of this stuff. Apparently there's a new one on the market, 3MMC. So it's the new one hitting the streets of Ireland. So it's called Catanone 3 Metal Metcatanone, also known as 3MMC or metaphenedrone. So be wide, guys, if you're out there and if you're into this stuff. I'm not too sure what the dangers or the risks are about this, but it's saying here, that there's, according to a risk assessment report on 3MMC carried out by the European Monitoring Centre of Drugs, physical effects of the drug may include elevated heart rate, elevated blood pressure, peripheral vasoconstriction, bruxism, grinding in the teeth, dilated pupils, sweating, and increased body temperature. So there's potential that there's people out there who are going to be trying to maybe pass this stuff off as MDMA crystals or something like that. So again, happy days if you're at Electric Picnic, you're going to be able to get your crystals tested. So be wide, guys, be wide. Article is on Sunday World if you want to get over there and give it a read. I'm not going to read all of it. I don't think too many of you are out there into your crystals, are you? And if you are, you're smart enough to know to test your shit. Anyway, let's blaze one. This fucking hash is absolutely gorgeous. Again, cheers, Mr. Talker. So that is all of today's 420 news. Hope everybody enjoyed that out there. Oh, excuse me. I know I enjoy the bomb hits anyway. Here we go. Just going to line up a bit of something to close out with. So if you're still sticking around, I'm going to play a little video there from our buddy Canaman. I know I talked about it this back in April. Jeez, this has gone back. Back in April when life was fucking good, when I didn't really have to worry too much about the epilepsy and stuff as it was, and after getting really bad. Just before I had that status epilepticus, I had started playing clips from Candyman comic cartoons from his YouTube. Got permission from him. He was all good about it and happy with me being able to share that with you on here as well as part of the 420 news. So I'm going to close out with one of his episodes there. So I know many of you already out there are subscribers of his and have probably seen this, but I think it's just a nice way to close out the show. So I'll close out with that there, but anybody else got anything to say in the hot box? Pops, only a matter of time. Please remember, not everyone here is 20. There are a lot of us old timers tuning in that have been waiting since the bloody 60s. But that's the problem, man. All this waiting, like I'm sick of waiting. I'm not waiting for this to happen. Like this is happening right now. It's like, say I'm breaking the law, I'm marching into the guard stations. It's like, what else can we fucking do? You know, it's just like, we have to take back the power. That's what we have to do, is the people power. Like, I think that's been the problem. We've been waiting all along, and we shouldn't have been waiting. We should have been engaging in actions, peaceful civil disobedience. Just a whole bunch of people just marching to the guard station, a little bit of cannabis and saying, look, we're here, we'd like our day in court. Go back doing it again the next week, and hopefully the group grows and grows and grows, you know, until a point in which the system has to give. We should have done this a long time ago, and it annoys me that I still haven't been successful and able to get that going. But what we have got going though has been successful civil disobedience protests, public displays where we don't march to the guard stations, where we don't march to the authorities. But sometimes the authorities come to us, but they respect our protest and they don't arrest us, because quite often or not, there's too many of us there for them to arrest us. But yeah, fingers crossed anyway. I'm not going to be sitting around in another 30 years. Is it? No, the 60s? Jeez, that's 60 years ago. No way, man. No way. You 80 out there, Pops? Pops, are you 80? No way. I'm just thinking, like, if you're not 20 and you're saying you've been waiting since the 60s... Oh, 60. See you 60, Pops? Good. You're older than John Finnegan, so geez, I thought John was the oldest here. But yeah, like, let's hope when I'm 60, that another 30 years we won't still be waiting, and this will have happened and we'll have enacted change by then. Please God. Otherwise I'm going to be spending a couple of years behind bars in the not too distant futures because of some of those actions I talked about there a few minutes ago. And some future ones that are going to happen as well. It's only inevitable. Mr. Finnegan says, see you tomorrow, Martin. Looking forward to meeting up for the day of action for the patients that can't make it themselves. Again, shout out to Jen Devlin, one of those patients who unfortunately, because of health, because of life, just unable to be an activist and is unable to attend tomorrow's day of action and other day of action. So we do fly the flag for those patients too, and always keep them in our thoughts. So yes, Mr. Finnegan, it is for those two who can't make it. DB Woodcraft says, the power of the people is stronger than the people in power. There you go. Pop says he's 54. Good stuff, Pops. Almost there. Still a spring chicken. Says Bernard, splendid. Right, so guys, I'm going to swing you on over here to the Candyman selection. If you haven't already subscribed to his channel, get on over there, give it a subscribe. He's got some funny comic collections up here. I'm going to give you a short one here. It's only a minute 45, this one here. Or no, I won't give you that. That's a 3-parter. There we go, Spark. There we go. It's one of the couch skits.
I fucking hate camping. Donny, try and enjoy yourself. We're in nature, it's a lovely night, we've got some good scran. What's that? What, this? This is a spork. Half spoon, half fork. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever had in my fucking life. What? How? Spork. A fucking stupid name and a fucking stupid idea. You know, the inventor of the fork and the inventor of the spoon should get together and sue whoever came up with the fucking spork.
How do you know that the inventor of the spork didn't invent the spoon and the fork as well? Could have invented all three.
No way.
It's for eating things that are liquidy but also solid. It's perfect.
Do you know what else is also liquidy and solid? My morning shit. You gonna eat that as well? It's a fucking stupid thing. End of story.
What's that?
What? This? This is a spife. Half spoon, half knife. Absolute belter.
You son of a bitch.
So there you go, guys. If you want to see more, or if you want to support him as well, don't forget he has got a Patreon Canaman TV. Some funny ones out there, in fairness. He's got good stuff. That's all from me anyway, guys. That's all from the 420 News for today. You will get some live streams there again tomorrow throughout the day of action. I'm going to be leaving here Cork City early in the morning, heading up to Dublin on the choo-choo train. So I should be up in the big smoke by the afternoon, and we should have streams going from 2 o'clock anyway, possibly. And we'll have other content then getting captured throughout the day as well. I'll have my camera and stuff like that there with me, so yeah, should be a good crack, hopefully. Hopefully we get good attendance as well. Looking forward to meeting up with some of the people there as well. Getting to catch up with Martin O'Brien as well. Should be epic. Yes, guys, to everybody else out there, have a lovely evening and all of that stuff. Hopefully everybody, hopefully Monday has treated everybody well. And hopefully Tuesday is going to be bright and sunny again. Peace and love, guys. Stay blazed. Keep it lit. Bye-bye.